everybody, and welcome back to TBA. This is our second season of this series. How are you feeling?
I'm very good. I'm Brad Sullivan.
Yes, and I'm Caitlin. Now we're going to jump straight into News of the Week. A disturbing landmark survey conducted by the Human Rights Commission has found that more than half of all university students were sexually harassed in 2016. If you or anyone you know has been impacted by sexual assault within university campuses, support is available by calling 1800 572 224. Another one down. Donald Trump fires Anthony Scaramucci as communications director just after 11 days on the job. It came after Scaramucci made some obscene comments to the New Yorker magazine. Captain Alexander Akapov is being hailed a hero after he landed a passenger jet blind when giant hailstones shattered the cockpit's windscreen. It was a bumpy landing for those on board, but luckily nobody was injured in the ordeal. Bunnings Warehouse has become a victim of a massive trade tax scam, with thousands of tradies reportedly using the company's ABN number instead of their own business invoices in order to dodge tax. This has inevitably cost Bunnings hundreds of millions of dollars a year. Thanks, guys. Back to you.
Now, as you saw there was a very damning report released yesterday about the state of sexual assaults on university campuses, and the UOW TV crew would at an announcement that the university made yesterday.
This morning, the Australian Human Rights Commission released its report entitled Change the Course National Report on Sexual Assault and Sexual Harassment at Australian Universities, and that provides the Commission's findings on the prevalence and nature of sexual assault and sexual harassment at Australian universities. The University of Wollongong welcomes today this report and accepts all of its 9 key findings. Our Vice-Chancellor has committed this university to work systematically through the recommendations with a view to implementing all of them over the next 3 years. Let me first state categorically that sexual assault and sexual harassment are never okay, either at the university or in the wider community. Even one incident is one too many. We are determined to confront what is a difficult problem for universities as it is for the wider community. This is why the University of Wollongong fully supports the aim of the Universities Australia-led Respect Now Always campaign, and we have been working for many years to continually improve the safety of the learning and working environment we provide at all of our campuses, and we will continue to do so. Once we receive a report, UOW takes a support-first approach, which means that appropriate care will be provided as quickly as possible to the people who need assistance. Our student counselling service provides triage and prioritised appointments for students reporting a critical incident. We encourage those reporting incidents to make a report to the police, and we will support them to do so. Clearly, we still have some more work to do, raising awareness of how to report incidents and awareness of the support services that are available to all our staff and students. Undertaking an initial review of our long-standing policies and procedures around this issue, ahead of a more detailed expert-led review in the coming months, is aimed at applying best practice and reducing the trauma experienced by people reporting incidents. Future work includes not only addressing the 9 recommendations of the report, but also joining other Australian universities in meeting the objectives of Universities Australia's 10-point action plan, which was also released today. The transformative role universities play in society has never been more important than now. As we work alongside other universities and with our staff, student and communities to address sexual assault and sexual harassment, I'm confident we can instil cultural change among tomorrow's leaders that will have flow-on benefits far beyond our institutions.
It's such a serious issue, and it's so good to see Wollongong getting involved to try and combat it.
In other news, a little bit of lighter news, the University of Wollongong's iAccelerate is hosting the Impact Conference next week, a conference about social entrepreneurship. And we had our reporter Dee down there to have a look at what was going on.
Hi, I'm Dee from UWTV. We're here for the upcoming iAccelerate Impact Conference. Today, we're joined by the CEO of iAccelerate, Omar Khalifa. Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Fine, thanks. And today, we're also joined by the case speaker, Mr. Joe Stitzma.
Hello.
Hello, Mr. Clifford. Could you tell me something about this conference?
Yeah, so it's called the iAccelerate Impact Conference, and the Impact Conference is really about taking social enterprise and taking that and matching it up with impact investors, people who want to see some social good out of the kind of businesses that get created. So this is really a conference to help give everybody an idea what it's all about to become a social enterprise, what kinds of problems they may solve, what kinds of approaches they may take, but ultimately what kind of benefits can they provide both to the community and of course for themselves.
Oh, thanks. Thanks. And then we're going to ask Mr. John Steinman, so what do you want to share about this conference?
Well, I think that the most important aspect of this conference is the community and the variety of speakers and people that will be participating. It's exciting to me to see people from all different disciplines, all different stages in their careers and in their enterprises, all coming together to share, to learn, to grow together. That's to me very exciting, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
Thank you all the way. So if there is anyone who is interested in the conference, it will be held from 8th to 11th of August next week. I'm Dee from UWTV.
Looks like a really fantastic opportunity for people to get involved with innovation. So I recommend anybody who's interested in changing the world go along to that. Next up, we have Montana Byers, who is the Vice President of the UOW's Diplomacy and Foreign Affairs Society, who will be talking about the Model UN conference that we have coming up. Montana, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Not too bad, thank you.
First question, can you give us a bit of a debrief on what this conference is? Like, what's it about?
Sure, so it's a Model UN conference, so it's an experience where a whole bunch of students who have different interests are able to get together and sort of stimulate what the United Nations is. So it's a great opportunity to not only increase understanding of the international organisation itself, but it also is a really good experience to boost self-confidence in public speaking and critical thinking and that sort of thing.
Oh, sounds really good. So what's the sort of scale of this sort of thing?
So Model UN is all over the world. So the Diplomacy and Foreign Affairs Society has travelled both Australia and overseas competing in these sort of competitions. We've been to Kuala Lumpur in Malaysia, to Rome and Italy, but around Australia it's actually quite big. You wouldn't sort of expect it, but we on average have about 20 delegates going from the University of Wollongong alone to compete every year.
Yep, and how many universities will be involved with the conference this year?
In this one, we decided to limit the number just so we could get a greater understanding of how this conference would work, because this is the first time the Wollongong University has ever held something like this. So we are having 4 universities, which include ANU, University of Sydney, Wollongong and University of Canberra.
So you just said that this is the first time that Wollongong's hosted something like this. So what does that mean for you guys?
For us, this is a really good opportunity to show other universities that we are really dedicated in competing in these sort of competitions, and we're ready to be a really serious player in the competition. And it's also a really good opportunity for us to understand what it's like to take on this sort of leadership role as a conference and really push University of Wollongong into the professional development world.
And is there a way that new students or current students can sort of get involved with the Model UN or even the diplomacy? And
Absolutely. So we are having our first event this Friday at just the Unibar. We're having a few welcome drinks, so that'll be a great opportunity for new students to sort of come down, have a chat with us, see how they can get involved. Unfortunately, the Gongmun applications have closed, but we are also really looking forward to going to Canberra and competing at the National Capital Model UN, which is a really good introductory conference for new students. So I really encourage anyone who wants to get involved in this kind of thing to message us on Facebook or just give us a like on Facebook, and so you can see what we're doing and sort of get the heads up whenever we're about to sort of go and experience a new conference and go and compete. It's a great opportunity.
Have you participated in something like this before, or is this your first time as well?
I have. So my first conference was the Asia Pacific Model UN, which was held in Perth. Since then, I've done quite a few. I went to Malaysia last year with UAW, which was an absolutely amazing experience. And we also actually have a subject here at UAW, which is Model UN. So a few of us from the Diplomacy and Foreign Affairs Society had an amazing experience with actually tutoring that subject this semester, last semester, which was a really good experience. So I'm sort of considered a bit of a veteran when it comes to Model UN, but I would love for see more people get involved, which is really what this is about.
Absolutely. Thank you very much for coming in. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you for having me.
And now we have the new but occasional segment of UAW's War on Waste.
I'm Marie from the UAW Enviro Collective, and today we're going to give you some tips on how to avoid single-use plastic on campus. I've got here a plastic bowl from home, a mug just from my cupboard, some cutlery from my kitchen drawer, a straw, some chopsticks when the sushi hit strikes, and a tea towel to clean up after. So I just went into fuel. I brought my own bowl. They weighed it before I put salad in it, and I saved a whole thing of plastic by doing this. I'm about to go into Rush to grab a coffee. I've got my Keep cup and a mug that I've just brought from home. Doesn't need to be something fancy to save bio cups from going to landfill. You'll still get the discount and your tasty coffee. Billions of trees each year are cut down to fuel the chopstick industry all over the world. I have my own chopsticks, but if you don't, you can reuse the ones on campus. Just use them, wash them, and then put them in your bag for later. And that's it from the Enviro Collective today. Thanks for watching, and don't forget your tea towel if you are worried about wet stuff in your bag.
If you bring your own knives and forks, you can dine with a clean conscience.
Yep.
And talk about clean eating, we've got the girls from Food for Thought here to make kale chips, I believe.
Welcome to the 8th segment of Food for Thought. This is a segment where we show you how to make nutritious but also very cheap food. Yep, so today we're going to show you how to make kale chips. Absolutely, such a craze too, like you're going to see kale chips everywhere. I know I have seen them, and what better way to make it cheaper than to make your own?
Yeah, so the ingredients you'll need are kale, some oil, we've chosen to use olive oil, and the spices you want. So we've got oregano and rosemary and garlic powder, salt and pepper.
Okay, so how we start is you need to wash the kale and rip it into bite-sized pieces, and
then get your oil, and you want to kind of coat it really well, and then get your hands and massage it. You want to make sure that all parts of the kale are covered in oil. That way it'll be really crunchy, and any parts that you miss out, it might turn out soggy. So make sure that you cover it really well with oil. Then after you're done, that's when you add your spices. So we're just going to add all our spices.
So some of the benefits of kale is that it is rich in antioxidants and it is rich in vitamin A and vitamin K.
Yeah, and kale is also high in iron and fiber, and it's low in calories as well, which is really healthy and good.
So once you're done massaging your kales and spreading all the spices evenly on the kale leaves, you want to put them in the oven. You want to put them on top of a baking sheet and spread out evenly. Make sure they're not on top of each other. And you're going to put them in the oven for 10 minutes. Don't leave it any longer because it will burn. And at about 175. Okay, so this is the final product, our amazing kale chips. So that is the end of our segment for today.
Yeah, thanks for joining us. We hope you liked today's recipe.
Join us next time. Join us next time where we show you how to make more nutritious and, if we can, cheaper foods for you guys.
Well, they looked easy enough to make. We can definitely give them a go.
Absolutely. Next up, Lillian's taking us through what's coming up in music. This is The Muse.
We have some hectic names heading our way this semester, from low-key sets to some massive festivals. Scattered between Unibar, Brad and other locations, all these gigs are within easy reach. For August, we've got the soul-blocking Crowd Control and Violent Soho, among other fantastic artists headlining the Yours and Ours Last Frost Festival at the Innovation Campus on August 19th. Strawberry Boogie's second birthday at Unibar will showcase some fantastic up-and-coming artists such as White Blanks, Crocodilis and the haunting Vera Blue, booked to finish off the month on August 31st at Unibar. All her shows on her last Australian tour sold out, so get in quick for tickets. September is bringing some absolute killer names with Client Liaison at Unibar on September 8th and Kim Churchill on the 15th. That next weekend we've got Camp Hope on Friday the 20th and Meg Mac on Saturday the 21st of September. The last weekend of September is reserved for the massive Yours and Ours Festival, featuring Alex Leahy, Ali Barter, All Day, City Calm Down, Cosmos Midnight, Dune Rats, Northeast Party House, Safia and The Preachers. And to round off October we've got Boo Seeker on the 7th of October and Draft on the 28th. But before any of that, if you're a metal fan, be sure to check out the gigs tonight at Unibar, featuring Australian deathcore band They Art Is Murder, along with Alpha Wolf, Cursed Earth and Deadlight. We'll give you weekly updates of these and other events closer to the date, but definitely get these down on your calendar for a great semester.
Bangers all round.
That brings us to the end of today's segment. Thank you for joining us.
We'll be back next week. I've been Brad Sullivan.
And I'm Caitlin, and we'll see you next time.